Ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing? We are back today and oh boy, we got some news for you. I cannot believe what I'm about to witness here. We got the newest balance adjustment and the first one we see is my girl Ruele of Light. We needed a Ruele buff for a long time though, let me tell you. And you know what? Let's just dive right in, shall we? With the newest balance adjustment patch notes of Epic 7. Let's see who do they think are going to impact the meta after not doing so for a long time now. And it's quite a list, I would say. There's a lot of people here, right? So from the top, we have Ruele of Light. Someone that needed a buff, I would say. Like, it's been a while since we ever seen Ruele. We have Silverblade Araminfa. Very, you know what, fair play. Because any RGB 5-star would be able to do what Silverblade does, in my opinion. But yeah, it's due time for her to take her throne as an ML5. So okay, that's SB Ara. Next, we got Last Rider Crow, also a character that has been not in the limelight for a while now, so I'm happy with that. Commander Pavel, okay, interesting, though Cleave is kind of dead after Har City, but we'll see what happens and what the buffs will entail. Got Designer Lilibet, I agree. Twist the Eidolon Karen, I agree. This might be the best patch I've ever seen, guys. But here's the problem. No Fallen Cecilia. She do be fallen off, huh? And those are the ML5s. Quite a good roster. It's, in my opinion, what they should have done for quite a long time. Just getting more characters in these patch notes, right? Just one or two isn't going to cut it. They are changing 5 ML5s now. Very good. Let's just keep going, though. We got the Covenant 5-stars in Melissa, Says, Alina, Mort, Yolha, Blooming Lidica, Auxiliary Lots even, Peacemaker Furious, Veronica, and Armin. Okay. A few that's generally like needing of buffs, like say Says for sure, Melissa, another buff for Melissa, but she's not really even usable these days, in my opinion. We got Mort. Yolha, I wouldn't say needed a buff, but I guess we'll see what happens. Bloomy Lidica, well, Cleave is dead now, so I don't know what's gonna happen. And yeah, we'll see. What I'm hoping to see is like some sort of counter for Cleavers to Har City, because right now, the moment there's a Har City in the game, no Cleave can exist unless you ban it. It's gonna be pretty annoying, right? So let's just keep going though. We got the artifacts now. We got 4. Cruel Mischief, Rihanna, and Luciella. Oh no. Ara now getting a buff does not bode well in my opinion. Like, what's it gonna do? I get 2 turns in a row now instead of 1? Oh boy. Pure White Trust, don't fucking know what that does. Hostess of the Banquet. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I'm pretty sure this is the limited Lilius artifact that gives you ER. And most people use that on BBK, which is all over the meta right now. But enough yapping about who got the buff. Let's see what are the buffs. We got Ruele of Light here. So what did you get? You get, on the S1, Key to an Oath, attacks the enemy with a stab before recovering health of all allies. Oh, okay. Before it's only one of the lowest health, now it's all allies. Alright, that's good. Amount decreased for sure. It's gonna help her out in terms of healing, right? Her usual issue is that her S2 is a good heal, S3 is a good heal, but it's only for one target, right? So that's Key to an Oath. Next off, we got Light Pillar, which was the S2. Before it increases the combat readiness of the caster by 25%. And hey, thank you for the follow. I'm in, although I don't stream. Let's see what it changed to, though. We got before granting them a barrier and damage limit for 2 turns. Oh my god, what does that mean? Damage limit. Now, I assume damage limit means it's Gala Lilius' passive. It's going to be a buff, in my opinion. I don't know what it's exactly going to be. It doesn't write it anywhere, but that is now going to be a heal and a barrier, and barrier is already existing, and damage limit. Okay, so it's going to help you tank even better. This feels pretty toxic already, but let's just see now. The biggest value of Ruele Light. We got the S3, Light Ascending. What has changed? This was usually just a full revive of invincibility, right? After the buff, at the start of the first battle, grants Spirit Lord's protection to the caster. You know what? Let me zoom this in a little bit so you guys can see it better as well. Spirit Lord's protection. Okay, let's read. Upon receiving lethal damage, revives with 50% health and increases CR by 50. Huh. So she herself gets a revive. Okay, that's really interesting. Not only that, after she gets a revive, she pushes herself by 50. You know what? I think this is more broken than you think. Think about it. If I want to cleave this character now, I need to kill Ruele twice. Or else she takes a turn and lands an invincibility on whoever. Or damage limit whoever. That's going to ruin any cleave again. So Cleave dies again, though? Wait, this is bad. For me, I'm a Cleaver. This is terrible. I mean, it's good for Ruele. Now she's definitely usable. Now, honestly, though, after Harsetti coming out, Cleave is already kind of dead. Like, it's really hard to cleave these days. But now that with this, I think it's going to be even tougher. For standard, though, I think this is just going to make her more usable. I think it's a lot more usable, actually, to just get out of jail free card. Lethal damage, get your push up, revive someone else or revive yourself, damage limit someone else or damage limit yourself. That's going to be really good. Take a look. Good look at Ruele. I think she's worth building again. But let's just keep going. We've got Silverblade now. I'm really hoping it's not going to be just another whatever buff, right? She already got a rework / buff before. Let's see what happens this time. Flame Friction, which is her S1, I believe. Yep, S1. So before it increases caster combo notice by 1/4, 25%. Not that crazy. After, what does it do? Before detonating burn effects on enemies at the end of the turn. Ooh, okay. So she does more damage on the burns now. Interesting. And you know what? I don't think that's that big a deal for now. Both are like good, not that crazy though. But let's see what else, right? We got Flame of Savara. This is, at the start of the first battle, increases attack proportional effectiveness. Oh, Silverblade is now a carrot, right? A carrot, a burn DPS. Okay. The rate of increased attack effect does not change after it is activated, which is, you know what? That's fine. That means it doesn't matter. You can't buff it, basically. That's what it's saying. When an ally, except for the caster, ends their turn, increases CR of the caster by 15%. Okay. Ally, except for the caster, ends their turn, increases combat radius of the caster. So, before, I needed my ally to do an AoE. And then I get a CR push. Now, I just straight up get a CR push if a character takes a turn. That is pretty unique. I can think now. This can be like used to counter Harsetti, maybe. If you run a Zio against a Harsetti, Zio goes first, Silverblade pushes herself up after Zio's turn. Okay, interesting. But next off, though, we got Meteor Fall. This should be the interesting one, right? Firstly, the cooldown decreased from 5 to 4 now. And before, it does 65% chance each to inflict 2 burns and a stun, right? So what happens now? Attacks all enemies with Giant Meteor, inflicting 2 burns effect for 2 turns and stunning for 1 turn. Straight up 100% chance, right? Before it's 85, and that's annoying. It's not even guaranteed. Now it's guaranteed. Oh, okay. That is very interesting. So, yeah, now you get, there's no excuse for Silverblade to randomly not land, not proc at least. You could still get 15% it, but now at least it's 100%. I think this needed to be the case from the get-go. But that's in terms of just being a debuffer. Right now, after the buff, it seems that she's going to be used as more of a carrot. A burn DPS character. I think that's going to be insane. That's going to be really cracked, even in standard, if anything. Exploding the burns constantly with the ultimate that has a guaranteed chance to land 2 burns. Pretty interesting, but I don't think it's broken at all. Because, you could evade it. You could cleanse it. There's a lot of ways to go around. All right. Overall, I'm excited to see what it's gonna how it's gonna work out. Don't think she's too broken though. Let's keep going. We got Last Rider Crown next. What do you have? Before, he's just like a mitigation to AoE, and right now everyone just kills you no matter what anyway. You could mitigate a lot, but Larao's is just not mitigating enough, right? Let's see. What else do we have? Code number 00. This is the passive. Before, it's barrier for 1 turn. Now it's 2 turns after the buff. It's whatever. It's not that crazy in my opinion. It's good though, right? And then we have Mobile Weapons Siegfried. This is the S3. Before, it does damage to everybody, gets immunity as well, but the damage is just not enough in today's meta. So the first thing is cooldown got nerfed actually. It goes from 7 to 8. Okay. But there's one more buff effect right here though. Summon Siegfried, attacks all enemies, grants immunity. That's the same. Decreases skill cooldown by 1 turn. Penetrates defense, but cannot trigger a crit. Damage dealt increases proportional to max health and speed. It's the same, but it decreases skill cooldown by 1 turn? Huh? Okay, I'm pretty confused at this. Hold on, let me read fully. Oh, of all allies. Okay, now I understand. Summon Siegfried. That's the normal damage from Larao, and it decreases skill cooldown for all allies by 1 turn. What? Okay, that might be insane. I didn't read it incorrectly, right? Decreases skill cooldowns of all allies. Yeah, it is. So every time you do S3 on Larao, you get a -1 skill cooldown on everybody. Now, Laurel might be a bit more annoying, I would say. You know, insanely more annoying. Imagine if you pair Laurel with, say, Luna, right? Laurel just needs to do one S3 after Luna does her thing. And then you get a -1 cooldown for Luna. Luna might just, like, you know, debuff your entire team again. You are fucking dead. Or maybe for someone like ML Hayes. For someone like Laya. Okay, pretty interesting. I feel like Laurel is not gonna be insanely broken. Maybe, you know, he might be. You know, I am gonna, like, comment on this. I think it's a good buff from before he's, like, genuinely just mid. Now, though, with this, oh, it's gonna help the allies that's broken, right? It's interesting. I'll say all that. But okay, let's just keep going. Commander Pavel. What do we have? Only 2 things. Sovereign increases damage dealt. That's it. That's it. That's it. Okay. Well, it's simple then. It depends on how much more damage are we getting on Commander Pavel. If it's a lot, then it's broken. If it's just whatever, then, like, who cares, right? We'll have to see, though. It's pretty simple, but, you know, compared to before, this made no sense. Like, decreasing skill cooldown by 2 turns. If I'm cleaving and I need more than 2 turns, I'm probably dead. So, alright. Understandable. Let's just keep going. We have Dilibet. This one, I'm very excited for, because Dilibet is a character that has just been so useless for a while now, right? Let's see what changes they've done. So before Slice to Pieces, this is the S1, it's Silence. Right now, after the buff, you get decreased defense instead, from silence to decreased defense, and the sober now increases chance to 100%, and decreased defense will happen for 2 turns. Okay, this is a standard Harsetti kind of soberness one, increasing chance to decrease defense for 2 turns with a sober. Otherwise it's 75 for 1 turn. I guess it's good and bad. Before you can use Dilibet to silence somebody, now you can't. Now it's like decreased defense. Sometimes it could be good, like imagine if you silence a Ron can't do skills, that's good. But now it's decreased defense, which could also be good if you decrease defense, say ML Haste, and then just nuke him down. But okay, S1 is whatever, right? Let's just see the bulk of her mechanic. What changed? We got emergency stitching. This is her passive, right? So before, it just increases defense for 1 turn if you get max fighting spirit. Now it grants increased defense and immunity. Oh, okay, interesting. Immunity. All right. You get immunity for 1 turn, so you stop getting, like, stunned after proccing it. So you guarantee yourself to get the turn with no debuffs, and you get to use your S3. I feel like that's okay. That's not bad, right? Let's just keep going, though. The final piece of the puzzle to her kit would be your S3. Model Disqualification. Decreases debuff duration of all allies. This is the same, and before, it increases CR of all allies by 15. What happens now? Right now, it does the same, right? But it does, increasing their skill cooldown before increasing combat radius of all allies by 15. This is the same, no? Oh. It's not the same because it includes the caster too. It doesn't say does not include the caster, right? Before it is. Right now, everybody gets 15. Okay, sure. Penetrates the target defense by 50. Damage shall decrease at the same time. This is pretty peculiar. Because I guess it helps you, like, again, counter cleave, right? It counters character that has not much HP and just lands a bunch of debuffs on you for, say, like Ron, Peyra. They do S2, S3, and then you just get Dilibet to take the turn. They can't stop Dilibet with a Peyra stun because now you have an immunity. And after that, you do S3, slam it with the Dilibet. Damage dealt will be decreased, but you ignore half of their defense. It's gonna one-shot the whole team. I guess it's like just a minute change in my opinion. I don't think it's gonna change too much of how you use Dilibet. You use her when there's a really good debuffer that really wants to use their skill. And even in the end, they're just gonna hold their skill, right? If a Dilibet's there. So this is like, you know what? Quality of life. I would much prefer a Dilibet like this than before. It's okay. Let's just keep going. Now we have Twisted Eidolon Kairon. Oh, this guy was fucking useless. Alright. Now let's see if he's continually to be useless. Firstly, we got Sundering Slash. Attacks the enemy with a sword. Damage dealt increases proportion to the target's lost health when counter-attacking. Does flash slash and then attacks all enemy. Grants a barrier. This is from before. It's kind of whatever because you need the enemy to be low to do more damage. That for me is like just kind of whatever, right? Let's see though. After the buff, what happens? Damage dealt is increased firstly during counterattack. Okay, that's good. He needs that extra damage. And what does the effect do? Attacks the enemy with a sword, grants barrier to a caster for 1 turn. When triggered as a counterattack, it changes into an attack that targets all enemy. Barrier strength increases proportional to caster's max health. Okay. So right now it removed the whole damage dealt increases proportional to target's lost health thing, but instead you get damage dealt increase, and you also get a barrier, shenanigan going on. I think it's similar from before though, right? So it would be interesting to see how much the damage is increased by. That will one-sidedly decide if Twisted Idol Charon is good or bad, right? We gotta see the damage. How much does he do? Let's just keep going though. That's not the main mechanic. We have Wandering Idol now. This is the passive, right? So before it just does, counter-attacking stance. After the buff though, it does the same, but it increases combat readiness of the caster by 100 when the fighting spirit is full. He might be pretty good now. Oh my god. All right. So he kind of feels like a Hugh Fiend now. I mean, MLU Fiend, right? The moment the fighting spirit is full, you get a, mega push. And then you do a friggin' 10k nuke with S3. Let's just read the S3 first before we really take a look, right? So, Sword of Requiem, the S3. Successful attack inflicts 5,000 additional fixed damage. Before it was 2,000. So it got increased by over double. Okay. By up to 15k. Oh, wait. That might be crazy, no? That's a lot of damage, right? 15k fixed damage. But the, the initial damage from the skill is decreased, though. This is important. You acquire 1 extra soul, which is interesting. Cooldown's increased by 1 as well. Okay, huh? I suppose. That sounds good. In my opinion, the best thing about this is just, the combat readiness thing. When the fighting spirit is full, you just get 100% push. You get to use Sword of Requiem with the maximum fixed damage. That might just one-shot the whole team. I don't know, you use this with ML Haze, with freaking Dragon Bright Senya, fixed damage the hell out of everybody, wait. And Laurel with more fixed damage? I mean, not fixed damage, but penetrate damage. Wait, this might be insane. Oh my god. We might see ML Charon being actually used a bunch. Like, it looks like that to me. Pretty good change. I don't know if it's like gonna be too broken, we'll see. In my mind, it might be very annoying. Like, it might be really, really annoying. Is he, like, uncounterable, though? Of course not. Something that counters Fighting Spirit will easily, like, deal with this, for sure. But yeah, we'll see. It's interesting. It's gonna make, like, maybe Alvera being picked more as a counter-pick, even. But, okay. Let's just keep going, though. That is just for Twisted Idol Charon. It's all the ML5s. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the changes, except for... I wouldn't even say except for. It's really good changes, right? Well, good as in, the meta's terrible anyway, because Harsetti just stopped every single, like, cleave. There's no cleave that can exist, in my opinion, anymore. So, right now, we got a lot more standard changes, right? Some, like, Dilibet is just quality of life, but it's better than no change. I'm really excited for something like Ruele, for Laurel, for Twisted Idol and Charon as well. But let's just keep going, though. We got the 69th buff on Melissa, the Covenant 5-star. Damage dealt increases proportional to caster's lost HP, which is... like the same, it's not the same with Charon's from before, right? This is just with her own lost health. This is from before. So after, you don't need to scale with your lost HP anymore. It's just damage dealt increase. Okay, I guess. Well, we'll have to see how much it's increased by. I don't know, it feels whatever. Let's keep going though, before anything, right? We got an EE change as well. When an enemy is defeated by a manifestation, that's the S2. Only then it increases the attack of all ally, but now it increases attack of the caster for 2 turns when using Blood Bloom. Blood Bloom should be her S3, right? Okay, so now you get an attack buffed up S2 after doing S3. Seems pretty logical to me. Now she's better. Is she usable now though? I don't know. Like maybe in niche cases you would, but a normal RGB 5-star, like I don't think she's gonna change the meta for sure. It's gonna be better to use for sure. You might see her 1 in 10 games in my opinion, but you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. And yo, thank you for the follow again. Wait, what's happening? Why is everyone following me out of nowhere? Hey, love it, but let's keep going. Overall, it's a decent change. I feel like the quality of life, mostly. Attack buff, you definitely need it, right? Let's just keep going for now, though. Enough yapping, right? I'm also trying this new yap style video, so yeah, I'm not used to it. I might sound cringe, but let's just keep going. We got Cess now. Like, we all forgot Cess existed, right? We know Specimen Cess exists, and he's kind of just like a meme character. He's decent, though, don't get me wrong, but he's kind of just like, I'm using Spec now in RTA. But says it's like we forgot he existed. So let's see what changed. Before, after attacking only when the enemy's half health or less, you use and crouch. And now what happens though? Damage dealt increases proportional to the target's lost health. You just don't get encroach or encrouch? They removed encrouch entirely? At least from S1. Let's just keep reading. Okay? So, next off, we have Die Hard. This is the S3 now. Oh no, this is the passive. Damage suffered in one attack does not exceed 51. That's the same. Now, before, after being attacked, grants stealth. Now, that's okay. Like, it's decent from before. It protects him. But what happens now? After an ally, except for the caster attacks, when the target's health is 30% or less, activates Encroach. Huh. The ally, except for the caster, so it's not him. Encroach can only be activated once every 3 turns. Encroach, what does it do? Releases dark power to attack all enemies. Increases CR of the caster by 30. Damage dealt increases proportional to target's lost health. Okay. He is a finisher, right? You're going to have a team that's going to do a lot of damage. When the target goes below 30, you get Sez as the finisher to just finish them. Like hardcore, I'm saying Street Fighter style, yeah? Or Mortal Kombat, rather. So, okay, that's interesting. And the CR increase, I would say, would be the biggest part of this. You can build a no-speed Sez. And you know for sure he's going to trigger an AoE hit, kind of like a Pavel. But the criteria to trigger that is lowering the HP of the enemy. It's going to help like aggressive playstyle, which I don't even know is going to like be that good in the current meta with Hard City. But in Arena and Guild War, it's definitely usable. We'll have to see though, we'll have to see. It depends on how much damage he can actually do with Encroach. Like that would be really, you know, the secret in my opinion. But yeah, you can only trigger it once, so you want to make sure you take the turn with this 30%. You might want to have some speed on Sez, yeah, so that you encroach, you use S3, you kill everything. Okay, interesting. Let's keep going. Alita. It's only an EE change. Dispel 1 debuff from all allies when using Consecrated Ground. Okay, what is Consecrated Ground? Immediately dispel debuffs after an enemy attacks. Okay, this is the passive then, right? The passive heal that pushes her up. She now dispel 1 debuff when she does that before she heals. Okay. Alright. I mean, it's quality of life. It makes Alina easier to use, better to use. Which, not bad, right? Not bad. I'm taking it for sure. Next off, oh, this one's interesting. We got the Great Mortelix. No one's using this guy. He's a meme forever. But he's OP in the lore though. Let's see what happens now to him, right? Before, he ignores ER when the caster's in rage. Okay, that's how you land your guaranteed death break from before. What happens now? Ignores FRS of any targets with max health lower than the caster. So you don't need enrage. You just ignore ER, you don't care. Oh my god. Wait, that might be broken. So you always have a board. I'm expecting you to like build a freaking 30k health board, right? You need to have more health. And you can just ignore ER of anybody. You get a guaranteed death break if you sober it, I believe. No, you don't? Okay, you don't get it by sobering, but you have a 50% chance of landing it. Ignore ER, does not matter. Flip a coin, you get it. Okay. It's for 2 turns as well, so it's pretty big. Let's see if there's anything that changes. Well, damage dealt increase, right? I don't think that's gonna matter too much. Like, he's not gonna like one-shot anybody, but hey, he might. We'll have to see. I don't know the numbers yet. But so that's with S1. Let's see though. What else do we have? We have Edward Mortelix and Absolute Dignity. Let's start with this one. This one's the passive. Before, he's immune to stun and sleep. Now he's immune to debuffs which prevent movement, which, you know what? That's just better, right? All heroes except for the caster cannot counter attack. Wait. Mort is insane. Under certain circumstances, I guess. Now, if the enemy's going for, say, Euphine, ML Euphine, ML Landy, you just put a Mortelix in there. No one can counterattack except him, except Mortelix. We'll just keep reading for now. When an ally's attacked, there's a 20% chance to counter. After counterattacking, has a 100% chance to use Sacred Blessing, which Sacred Blessing grants skill nullifier to all allies and increases speed on the caster for 2 turns. What? Okay, so I'm thinking Elbrus Ritual Sword Mortelix, and even an anti-cleave setup would be insane, right? Imagine a run S2 S3s, lands a counter, the enemy gets a full skill null. Yep, that's gonna be very, very annoying. But the big thing is though the anti-counter, right? No one can counter except Mortalix, which is just a better ML Alina. Like, ML Alina stops counterattack, but Mortalix just stands there and no one can counter. Interesting, but I don't think you're going to use him in a cleave, though. More like in an anti-cleave scenario. And there's no longer any anti-crit mechanic here, though. Which is pretty interesting. No anti-crit anymore. Okay. Let's just keep going. The final thing. One of the biggest sources of damage that he has at the Mortalix DS3. What do you do now? Before you inflict injuries, which got removed. Oh. Caster becomes enraged. You don't need enrage anymore, so they removed it. What did they do? They now inflict fear for 2 turns. What's fear? Cannot act for a certain number of turns? At the start of the turn has a 40% chance to be decent. Huh? Nah. So it's a 40% chance for the enemy to... I'm lost. I'm lost right now. So when you inflict fear, the enemy will not be able to act for a certain number of turns. So I'm assuming 2 turns, right? You landed for 2. And every time at the start of the turn, this thing can just auto dispel. It feels like just a weird stun. It's a weird stun. I guess it's for 2 turns. So the best RNG possible would be it's stun for 2 turns. But with this, if you stun for 2 turns, it's too busted, right? So fear here has a 40% chance to just be dispel itself. I'm not sure if you can just like dispel it the first turn of you getting fear. If that's possible though, that is really ass. Like, I think it's pretty ass. You're just randomly not stunned out of nowhere. But you know what? It's too soon to call it. Let's just keep reading. It recovers health of the caster, penetrates defense of the enemy with the highest max health by 70%. Ignores ER of any target with max health lower. So you're guaranteed to land your fear. Damage shell amount recovered increases proportional to max health. Damage shell is increased. Healing is increased as well, but cooldown is increased by 1 turn. What? This sounds insane to me. This sounds potentially insane. I think there's definitely a workaround to him. Like just a good cleanser or immunity. For example, right? But it's really interesting though. If you're drafting correctly, the fear is just gonna ruin you or make it so RNG, right? Last pick Mortalix, the enemy does not have any cleansers that just slam the fear, slam those decreased defense, ignoring 70% chance 70% of the enemy's defense with the highest health. He might do some crazy damage like Straze. This is some Straze ignore. Like that's a lot of ignore, right? We'll have to see. We'll have to see how much damage he does, but really interesting. I just didn't expect him to be that crazy. Like, that's a lot of change, right? Dude, this video's gonna be long. But let's just keep going though. It's not even over. What the fuck? Exclusive equipment. Before it extends the Sacred Blessing's critical hit resistance by 1 turn, now he does not have anti-crit no more. It now extends the buff duration of Sacred Blessings, increase speed by 1 turn. You know what? It's just overall good, right? You don't need no anti-crit no more. Now you get more speed buff. Okay. Well, I'll be. This is the most interesting one by far. I think this is the most interesting change. It's Mortalix. Let's just keep going now. I cannot like read that slowly. I'm gonna get faster. This video is getting too long. We got Yoha. Before you get the reflect, now you get more reflect. 30 to 40%. You know what? Better than nothing. What else do we have? Symphony of Agony. This is the S3, right? So before it has 5 turn cooldown, now it's decreased by 1. Oh, interesting. And the Soulburn is now going from 20 to 10. And it increases damage now. Okay. This just makes Yulha better. I don't think it's exceedingly better. It's just it's the same use case. You still use Yulha as like a crow, but you just do more damage now and you have less cooldown. Good. That's just good, right? I'll take that. Good for Yulha. Next up, Moonlight. This character is ass. Especially after Harsetti, right? Like, right now, she can't outspeed nobody the moment Harsetti's there. So it's going to be really hard to play her. I'm wondering what change she got. She got penetrates target's defense by 50. And when the target speed's greater, penetration rate increases to a maximum of 100. So, okay. You don't have to be that much faster to get the maximum amount then. Okay. I mean, that's still useless now that we have Harsetti. Unless you ban Harsetti, of course. But the moment Harsetti is in, Moonlight cannot do anything. That's the problem, right? But okay. I don't think this will change too much. She's better for sure. But there's also a counter for her now. If this happened before Harsetti, this would be broken. But now that there's Harsetti, Moonlight does have her like issues. And now it's easier to use her, but at the same time, there's a counter to her. So you know what? We'll have to take a look for that. Next, I'll go to ML4. So we got Ox-Lots. Acquire Soul is increased on S2. Cooldown is 4 turns now. What? Injects ally except for caster, granting exploiting weak point and increased attack for 2 turns before increasing CR by 100. But the cooldown is 4 turns. Nah, now you can't do. Now he's ass. Wait, hello? Wait. Let me read this better. Okay, firstly, exploiting weak points. I'm not sure what that does. Does it show? Does it tell me? Allowing for more effective support for their attack capabilities. The effect that increases caster attack and combat readiness will be removed. So, exploiting weak points probably buffs you based on your class. If I remember correctly, I might be wrong, okay? But the cooldown is 4 now? Dude. I don't know about this, man. But okay, let's just keep going before anything. Desolation. Before, it's a 2-turn silence. That was, like, decent before. Now it's an 80% chance to decrease defense. Oh. So... Oh, wait. Okay, now I see what it is. I'm pretty sure lots of Soulburn gets an extra turn after Desolation, after the S3. So you're supposed to get the Death Break and then exploiting weak point with S2 to get someone to turn instantly, attack buffed up as well, nuke right away. You also gain more soul, so it helps you with your, soul gaining. This helps you in terms of just, cleaving or playing fast. Okay. Now I understand. Now I kind of understand, I guess. I don't know about this, though. I feel like Ox-Lots from before was fine. But alright, I guess we'll have to see what happens here. It's interesting. I can definitely see use cases for him. But now that, number one, there's Hard City now. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with Hard City against Ox-Lots. Because Ox-Lots could just not take the turn, not take the first turn. It's going to suck. I guess not, actually, if you think about it. Ox-Lots would just get you 100%. So Hard City could take the first turn, you could recuperate, and then Ox-Lots Soul Burn, Death Break, pull your DPS upward, kill. Does not care about Hard City, okay? Interesting. Interesting. It's gonna ruin some PvE teams though, because I'm sure some PvE does take, advantage of the 2-turn cooldown or like Abyss stages, right? I suppose. Let's just keep going. And then there's a recall. You know what, man? If they're gonna do a recall, I guess it's the right thing to do. Like, I'm sure people are, some people are not gonna be happy about this. Like, say if I'm trying to make an Abyss team, all of a sudden this happens, like that's gonna suck. But alright, there is a recall. Interesting. Don't know what I think about that yet. We gotta see what it happens when it happens, right? Let's check out the next one. We got Peacemaker Furious. This character don't exist, right? Let's see. After the buff, what happens now? Before, when used on the caster turns out a 40% chance to grant extra attack with the same skill. This is ass. It's full RNG. It's dog shit. So what happens after? When used on the caster turn, grants an extra attack with the same skill if the caster is buffed. Okay. That's a lot better. Now it's a lot less RNG. If you have a buff, you're gonna get that extra hit. That's really good, okay? Really good as in, it's less RNG. I don't know if it's gonna be good in the meta yet. But let's just keep going though. We got Set in Motion. Before, you get increased speed for all allies and grants Indomitable to the caster for 3 turns. Now it increases speed and defense of all allies for 2 turns. And then gets an extra turn for the caster. Okay. And Soulburn extends the duration of the buffs by 1 turn. That's weird. That's pretty weird. Let's just keep reading for now. We have Black Hole Cannon, the S3. That's the main source of damage of Furious. Before, if the defense is greater than the target, you penetrate it. Now what? Penetrate the target defense by 60 right away. And you get more damage with higher defense on the caster. Okay. I guess it will depend on the damage. We're gonna have to take a look at the damage, right? I don't see any increase in damage. And before, when I used to like watch Peacemaker Furious being played, his damage is just not even there anyway. Like, it's okay. It's just not that great. So now that it penetrates the defense by 60 right away, and it does more damage proportional defense, I don't know. I feel like it's still not gonna be that great. But the increased speed and defense though might unlock some interesting use case. I might see him in standard play, just nuke someone down with S3 and still get the defense speed buff, right? It's gonna be good for multiple allies. But okay, let's just keep going. We got Veronica now. Why did you need this? At the end of someone's turn, when the target's granted mortality increases CR by 20, now it's 50. Oh, that counters BBK in my opinion, right? BBK is all around the world right now, so kills BBK, kills Janua. Good change. It's the quality of life. She's supposed to counter immortality. That helps her. Okay. Moving on, we got Armin. Armin before is used as a stun bot. You just want to get the counter and then you want to stun the whole team on the enemy end. What happens after? When an ally is attacked by a single attack, decreases damage suffered by 30. Oh. This is the passive, right? So it's increased in terms of mitigation. You get more mitigation by like an extra 10%. Okay. And that's it, right? There's nothing that changed. Okay, yeah, that's it. You just get more protection. Why not? Okay, I guess. It's the tank meta round. It's the turn 2 meta. So, like, this just slams Cleave dead. Before it was Cleave meta, right? Now it just slams Speed dead. Speed is totally slammed on the ground now. Like, there's so many characters that can deal with Speed, including even a Green Armin, right? That's a lot of protection, dude. It might be the best mitigation alongside Carbon, right? So, interesting. We'll keep going. Next up, we got the artifacts. Halls of Trial artifact now gets you more attack. Apply to only one hero. Okay. That's like whatever, right? Helps you in terms of Halls of Trials. Okay, that's good. Next up, we have Pure White Trust. Before, I don't think anyone uses this. Increases speed of the catch for 2 turns and increases crit damage of the next attack by 15 to 30. Now, it gains 10 soul. Has a 50 to 100% chance to increase crit damage of the catch for 2 turns. Oh my god, this is just a different type of gab. And there's a mini book as well. I think you will have this on someone like Zaha a lot, right? I'm not sure who else could use this. I'm sure there's someone out there, but Zaha, S2, gains 10 soul. If you have it max, you get crit damage buff as well. One shot anything. Like anything with evasion, right? Ruele dies. Aiden dies. Okay. It's good for sure. I wouldn't say it's broken yet. You know what? Ron. Give this to Ron, which now has a counter in Heart City. You get a 10 soul with S2 and then S3 with crit damage buff. Oh boy, wait, that's so interesting, no? I mean, not that Ron is gonna be like uncounterable, especially with Harsetti in the game, but if they pre-ban Harsetti and play a Ron Cleave with Pure White Trust, that might unlock something new. The extra 10 souls might be insane. We'll have to see. And next up, we have Arnau. My throat feels dry. Jesus Christ, it's a long video. It's the same thing, but now you get more attack. Great. I guess we needed that. Interesting. And now we have Hostess. This one's Gala Lilius' artifact. It's usually used in for ERBBK. Before, when attacking when the target's 50 health or more, increases damage dealt. What happens now? When attacking, increases damage dealt straight up by 5 to 10%. When the health is more, you get an additional, right? For a total of 18 if you max it. So it's quality of life, I would say. So you just don't get 0 damage buff without the target health being 50% or more. The ER still stays. So it's just good for BBK still. Okay? Alright. Let's just keep going. Now, battle system adjustments. What? If an extra turn occurs twice or more, extra turns will continue to occur in subsequent Wait. Let me read this better. That's before. Yeah, that's before. Let's relax. That's before. What happens after? If extra turns occur twice or more in a single turn, only one extra turn will be applied. No additional turn will occur in subsequent turns. So RNL is trashed. RNL is trash. I wouldn't say trash, but you don't get 6 turn run anymore. Right? You only get 1 extra turn. So he could S2, proc RNL, S3, the RNL takes effect. If he procs RNL again on this turn, it does not get it. He just does not get the turn. Why though? Like, why though? Okay. I guess that happens now. We get a recall as well. What an insane patch. What the fuck is happening? Okay. So Ron is gonna have more issues. A little bit more, I guess. It's RNG anyway, so I don't think it's that big a deal, realistically. But yeah, I suppose it would have helped out if this took effect, like, you know, a season ago where a lot of people were running Ron. But yeah, we'll see, right? I guess it's good. I feel like taking 6 turns because you're lucky is just ass anyway. And yeah, nothing else to say. Very good, Smilegate. Man, the eye patch, nobody's talking about. Everyone liked that. Yep. You know what? Kudos. Like, hate on Smilegate sometimes. Complain sometimes. But this one, you praise all the time for this one. It was good changes, I think. Some are like whatever, some are great, some might be too broken. We have to see like how it takes effect. And yeah, we'll have to see. Some makes no sense to me, like the Oxlots one. I don't think he needed it, or at least I don't think we needed another, you know, defense breaker and a pusher. Actually, nah. You know what? You know what? That could be interesting. You know what? I take it back. That could be interesting. I would say Bloomy Litica though. That one's like, now that we have Harsetti, I guess if you pre-ban Harsetti, now Bloomy Litica is just insane without, considering there's no Harsetti. You could just ban Harsetti after all. Like, just getting half of the pen, like, ready for you is pretty good. I would say, you know, guaranteed. Melissa's one is like, whatever, right? Like, come on. You can agree with me. Melissa's one's whatever. I get a tapo, sure, but no one's gonna die. And Melissa needs to kill to do more, to get the S2 back and stuff. But in this meta where everyone's 40k health, nah, it's not gonna happen, dude. But yeah, interesting. Very good developer notes. Kudos. All the praises. Hit like, subscribe, download Epic Server right now. It's actually really good. Really good game. Well, not for cleavers, but hey, it is good enough. So yeah, it's a 40-minute video. I don't think I can edit this, so hope you guys enjoyed my yap. I'm gonna do more of these if I need to. I can't just edit a lot more videos. I'm gonna try and edit some, but you know, sometimes I would just yap like this. Hope you guys enjoyed, and take care.